بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. We discussed the case when there is no text and we have doubt between aqal and akthar. Now the second type of doubt which we have on page 227 is when we have doubt between aqal and akthar, between the larger or the smaller or more and less, because of ambiguity. Ijmalun nas. You remember we said we have four: ijmalun nas, fiqdanun nas, ta'aruzun nas, and mawdu'iyah. Yeah. So for ijmalun nas, again here Ayatollah Subhani says we would do bara'ah because we know that the aqal is necessary, aqal is the minimum. With respect to the extra, to the additional part, we have doubt, and our knowledge would be divided into what is definitely needed, which is aqal, and what we don't know. This extra would become like an shobha badwiya, and we can do bara'ah.
When akal means what your brain, what intellect is it? Akal here, akal means brain.
Aqal,
Akal, what does it mean?
Aqal means lesser.
Lesser, I see.
From qalil.
I see.
Aqal. المسألة الثانية دوران الأمر بين الأقل والأكثر لأجل إجمال الناس. Because the text is ambiguous. إذا دار الواجب بين الأقل والأكثر لأجل إجمال الناس. What does it mean? It means that we have a text, but there are two interpretations, two ways of understanding that text. For example, you know for ghusl you have to wash all your body. But is, for example, inside your ear considered as body or as the, zahirul jasad, the outward, surface of the body, or it's not? It's considered as internal. You see, the ambiguity here, Assalamu alaikum, is caused by understanding what is meant by jasad and zahirul jasad. إذا دار الواجب بين الأقل والأكثر لأجل إجمال الناس, because of the ambiguity of the text. كما إذا علق الوجوب في الدليل اللفظي بلفظ مردد. علق means it has been put on something. It's made hanging on something, dependent on. So, wujub has been put belonging to what? A term which has two possibilities. مردد معناه بين مركبين, between two different compounds. One of them is lesser than the other. Okay? The lesser is inside the bigger. It's not two separate things. If it was two separate things, was mutabayinain. Yeah? So one is inside the other one has extra. يدخل أقلهما تحت الأكثر. The smaller one falls under the akthar, it's part of the akthar, and if you bring akthar, definitely you have brought aqal. Wala aks. But if you bring aqal, you have not brought akthar. For example, إذا دل الدليل على غسل. You remember we said غسل is اسم المصدر, غسل is masdar. غسل means to wash. غسل means washing. So if the dalil, the reference that we have, indicates that you should wash ظاهر البدن, the apparent surface, the outward surface of the body. فَيُشَكْ, then there is a doubt. Is particular part, like for example inside ear, counted as a ظاهر or not? كداخل الأذن من الظاهر أو من الباطن. So what should we do? We know that definitely all the surface is needed. But is it all the surface plus inside ear or just all the surface? Okay? وَالْحُكْمُ فِيهِ كَالْحُكْمِ السَّابِقِ. Again here, like when there is no text, we have the same ruling. When is فقدان الناس, we said براءة. Here is also the same. Why we believe in براءة here? Why we apply براءة here? Because with respect to that additional part, we have doubt. And this is شبهة بدوي. إن الملاك في جريان البراءة الشرعية هو رفع الكلفة. The criterion for executing, for applying religious exemption is that if there is any kulfa, any difficulty, any obligation that you are not sure that has belonged to you by a legislation, you can apply براءة. فكل شيء فيه كلفة زائدة وراء الكلفة الموجودة في الأقل يقع مجرى للبراءة الشرعية. So when there is two kulfa, one is definitely your taklif, and that is aqal. Then there is additional thing that is additional kulfa, additional difficulty, and additional task. You don't know, is that one also needed or not? So you keep what is certain. Yes? So becomes a place for applying براءة الشرعي. المسألة الثالثة. When you have two texts, like two hadiths, which conflict with each other. تعارض النصين. You remember, we said with تعارض النصين, there is something different. Because we have hadiths that tell us when you are faced with two hadiths or two sets of hadiths that are all verified but they conflict, you have to apply the rules of ta'adul and tarajih to find a preference, and if there is no preference, you have choice. So for ta'aruz al-nasain, we don't do bara'ah, we do takhir. إذا تعارض نصان متكافئان في جزئية شيء. When two texts which are mutakafe, means they are equal in weight. Takafu, like kuf. Yeah? Kuf means similar, equal. There are two hadiths, two texts which are equal, and they have conflict about whether something is a part or not. تعارض نصان متكافئان في جزئية شيء. They have conflict whether something is juz or not. For example, one hadith says surah is not wajib, another hadith says surah is wajib, means surah after hamd. Okay? Suppose both hadiths are strong, not that one of them is za'if. If za'if cannot conflict, they are mutakafi, means they are verified and they have all the preferences the same. There is no extra preference for one of them. So here we have takhir. كأن يدل أحد الدليلين. One of the two references indicates that something is part, like surah, juz'iyat al-surah. The other dalil indicates that it's not part. Surah is not part. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَأَحَدِهِمَا مُرَجِّهٌ. None of them has preference. فَالْحُكْمُ فِيهِ هُوَ التَّخِيرُ. Here we should do takhir. We can choose. Here is not براءة. Why? لما عرفت من تضافر الروايات العديدة على التخيير عند التعارض. Because there are many hadiths that say in such cases that there is conflict between two hadiths and they are equal, you have takhir, you have choice. So it has particular reason. Al-mas'alatu al-rabi'ah. These three were again about hukm. Now there's mawzu'i. Number 4 is دوران الأمر بين الأقل والأكثر في الشبهة الموضوعية. The doubt is about something external, a reality, something, in the objective external world. For example, إذا شك في جزئية شيء للمأمور به من جهة الشبهة في الموضوع الخارجي. We have doubt whether something is part of what has been commanded, but the reason for doubt is موضوع خارجي, the external subject is not very clear. For example, we have been asked to do something and that concept is not very clear. It can be aqal, it can be akthar. For example, suppose Master Mawla has said, Akram al-ulama. You must respect and honor all ulama. And suppose all ulama are meant as a whole. I hope you remember in the discussion about umum, we said we have 3 types of umum. You remember? 3 types of umum. Al-umum al-istighraqi, al-umum al-majmu'i, al-umum al-badali. Okay? Al-umum al-istighraqi was that the arm belongs to each of them independently. So each of them by itself can be implemented and you have done at least that part of the taklif. Al-umum al-majmu' is when all of them together are considered as one package and either you have it or you don't have it. You cannot say, I do half of it so I have done 50%. Okay? Al-umum al-badali was either this or that. So, if Mawla says, you have to respect, suppose, you have to respect all ulama but as a package. Okay? And you don't know this particular person is alim or not. Here, the reason for doubt is lack of knowledge about an external reality. But your doubt makes you worried. Maybe he is one of them, and if I don't respect him, rest of my also work would not be useful. So they say, even here you can do bara'ah. Because with respect to this extra, you have doubt and it becomes shubha badwiyya. Look at the example. كما إذا أمر المولى بإكرام العلماء على نحو العام المجموعي. The master has asked to honor all ulama as one whole, as a whole, one package, majmu'i. What does it mean? It means that تكون للجميع إطاعة واحدة وعصيان واحد. If you do all of them, respect all of them, it's one act of obedience. If you don't do all of them, even if you do some of them, or you don't do anything, there is one sin. You have to do all of them. If you don't do all of them, it doesn't make difference whether you have done half of it, 60%, 30%, or nothing. Because all of them together. Like for example, if you don't fast all the minutes and seconds of the day, it doesn't matter whether you have done 50%, 60%, 10%, or nothing. Because unless you bring all of it, you have not done anything. It's Amma Majmuri. All of it should be together. Okay? فَالشَّكُّ فِي كَوْنِ زَيْدٍ عَالِمًا أَوْ غَيْرَ عَالِمٍ. When there is doubt whether Zayd is alim or غير alim, this doubt شَكٌّ فِي كَوْنِ الْوَاجِبِ هُوَ الْأَقَلُ أَوْ الْأَكْثَرُ. Aqal means all ulama that you are sure about them. Akthar is all of the people you are sure about them plus this Zayd. وَمَنْشَأُ الشَّكِّ. Why you have doubt? Is it because of nas? No. It's not because of fiqdanun nas or ijmalun nas or ta'aruzun nas. The reason for doubt is you don't know what is actually the case about this person. Is Zayd alim or not? وَمَنْشَأُ الشَّكِّ هُوَ خَلْطُ الْأُمُورِ الْخَارِجِيَّةِ. Confusion about external affairs. Yes, khalt means it's mixed up and confusion.
If you know that he's alim, but you doubt about if he's fasiq, then you still have to. Does it still apply?
Yeah, because here it just said akram al-ulama. It didn't say akram al-udula min al-ulama. Yes.
But if he was doubting whether it's an alim or a fasiq, then it would be the case of takhir, right? But this one is alim or ghayra alim. So it says respect.
No, what is the taklif? The taklif is akram al-ulama. So the question of fisq is not relevant. منشأ الشك هو خلط الأمور الخارجية وبما أن عنوان المجموع عنوان طريقي إلى الواجب ففي الحقيقة يتردد الواجب بين الأقل والأكثر. So the reason for doubt is confusion about external affairs, external matters, external realities. And because that title of all is something to reach what is wajib, so here you have doubt between the lesser, which is ulama who are known, or the greater one, larger one, which is all who are known plus maybe Zayd. Between these two we have doubt. So it's aqal wal akthar, wa we apply bara'. Question: what about if you have doubt whether something is obstacle or not? We said if something you have doubt whether it is part or not, or condition or not, we discussed. Unless it is ta'aruz al-nasayn, you do bara'ah. What about something being obstacle, or something which may make your, for example, salat void? There is a difference between mani' and qati'. Mani' and qati'. Mani' is an obstacle that does not let something happen. Qati' is something that invalidates. In any case, if you are not sure, you assume that doing this thing is not going to make any problem. So if someone says, maybe this is going to make your salat void, we say, maybe is not enough to make it necessary for us to avoid. To say that this is going to create problem, we need proof. Otherwise, we assume that it's not going to harm. Al-murad hukm al-shak fi al-mani'iyyah wal-qati'iyyah. What is the ruling about doubt with respect to something being obstacle or qati? Qati means something that invalidates. المراد من المانع ما اعتبره الشارع بما أن وجوده مخل بتأثير الأجزاء في الغرض المطلوب. Obstacle is something that its existence would harm. مخل comes from إخلال. مخل بتأثير means harms, stops influence of the parts in bringing our expected purpose. What is your qaraz? You have a purpose. For example, your salat is going to do something for you to take you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. But you have doubt if my dress is najis or my body is najis. Is this going to stop or not? Suppose you don't have any proof for that. Just you have doubts. Okay? كَالنَّجَاسَةِ الثَّوْبِ فِي حَالَ الصَّلَاةِ. Okay? If you don't have proof, you assume that it's not a problem. If you have proof, if you don't have proof. Right now, we may have proof, but as example, if you don't have proof. كَالنَّجَاسَةِ الثَّوْبِ فِي حَالِ الصَّلَاةِ. المراد من القاطع. Right now he's giving just the example to understand the difference between مانع and قاطع. المراد من القاطع ما اعتبره الشارع بما أنه قاطع للهيئة الاستمرارية. This is destroying the continuity of the structure or the caste. Hay'a is like a caste, like a structure. Someone is praying, so no problem. He's praying. But then what happens? He stops. For a long time, doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything. So the form of salat is damaged. Or he doesn't stop. He does actually an action, but an action which conflicts with salah. A person who is musalli doesn't do this action. Too much plays with it, his, for example, his face, head, watch, So when you look at him, you don't think he's praying. This is a problem. So you understand the difference, the difference between mane and qati. Mane is something which, if it is mane, from the beginning stops any influence coming from this action. But qati is something which, as we say, qati means cuts. It comes and damages. Now the question is, إذا شككنا في مانعية شيء أو قاطعيته. If we have doubt whether something is mane or qati, please pay attention. It doesn't mean that it is either this or that. It means we have doubt whether something is mane or is not mane, is qati or is not qati. You understand? So you know that without this your salat is okay. Is this going to make a problem? Either as mane or qati. If you don't have any proof, it's okay. So you can assume that it's not harming. فَمَرْجِعُ الشَّكْ إِلَى اعْتِبَارِ أَمْرٍ زَائِدٍ عَلَى الْوَاجِبِ. This doubt can be reduced to what? To whether something additional is to be considered, is to be observed, you have extra concern or no. وَرَاءَ مَا عَلَمَ اعْتِبَارُ. Additional beyond what you know that it's valid and it's to be considered. فَيَحْصُلُ هُنَا عِلْمٌ تَفْصِيلِيٌّ بِوُجُوبِ الْأَجْزَاءِ. So here you have a decisive knowledge that you must do all the parts, and then you have shakk badwi, initial doubt, whether you have to avoid this mane or qati or not. شك بدوي في مانعية شيء وقاطعيته فالأصل عدم اعتبارهما. So the principle, the default, I'll ask me the default principle. The default rule is that it's not going to be considered as mane or qati unless it is proved otherwise. If it is not proved that it is qati or mane, you assume they are not going to be harming you. فالأصل عدم اعتبارهما إلى أن يعلم خلافه. So the default principle is that these two are not needed to be taken into account. You can ignore them unless it is proved and known that they are to be considered. فالشك فيهما كالشك في جزئية شيء أو شرطيته. This is similar to doubting about whether something is a part or a condition, which we said we do براءة. في أن المرجع. They are similar in that in all of them we return to براءة. Okay? والحمد لله رب العالمين. Now we go to the another question. We go to the other practical principle, which is istishab, and that is going to finish usul amaliyah. So al-bara'ah wal-ihtiyat wal-takhir, alhamdulillah, finished. Now we go to istishab. Istishab literally means to ask something to come with you, to be your companion, to take something with you. It comes from suhbah. Sahiba, yashabu, suhbah. Suhbah in Arabic is different from suhbat in Farsi. In Farsi, suhbat means to speak. Suhbah in Arabic means to be companion. Okay? Sahib. Ya sahib yasajd. As Yusuf said to those people who were in prison with him. Sahib. Or وَإِذْ يَقُولُ أَحَدُهُمَا لِصَاحِبِهِ فِي الْغَارِ. Okay? So sahib is someone who gives company to you. Istashaba means you are taking something with you, to be with you, to be your companion. This is the literal meaning. But what we mean by istishab is that there is a condition in the past and you want to bring that condition forward to the present. Okay? For example, you know that at 10 o'clock you made wuzu. You had tahara. Now it's the time of Salat al-Zuhr. You want to say Salat, but you say, maybe I slept. I was very tired. Maybe I slept. Maybe I didn't sleep. At 10 o'clock I had wuzu. Now I have doubt. So istishab means you assume that the previous condition, which was tahara, is continuing. Unless you are sure that your wuzu is broken, you assume that your wuzu is still there. This is called istishab. So you should have a previous condition, which is known, a current condition, which is unknown, and this yaqeen and doubt should be together today. Now I know that at 10 o'clock I was with wuzu, and now I doubt about midday. Because there is something similar to istishab, which is just similar, but they are different. And that is what we call qa'idatul yaqeen. Sometimes I know that at 10 o'clock I had wuzu. But after a few hours, I doubt whether at 10 o'clock I had the wuzu. Okay? So this is different from istishab. So you have to for istishab, you still should be sure about previous condition. Your only doubt is whether that previously known condition is coming along with the time or has been changed. Okay. So this part is very easy. I read for you about 2 pages, and then inshallah we go to the arguments next session. Al-Fasl al-Rabi' al-Istishab. The 4th chapter in the section about Usul al-Amaliyah. Al-Istishab. Continuity, or assuming that something continues. We mentioned few points. Al-Awwal ta'rif al-Istishab. What is istishab? Definition of istishab. وهو في اللغة أخذ الشيء مصاحبا. You take something as your companion. أو طلب صحبته. You seek its company. وفي الاصطلاح. Literally, that was the meaning. But في الاصطلاح means technically. Yeah, in the technical terminology. إبقاء ما كان. إبقاء ما كان. Let what used to be there carry on. Let it remain as it was. إبقاء means let it remain. مثلا إذا كان المكلف متيقنا بأنه متطهر من الحدث. مكلف, the person who is mature and responsible, was certain that he has tahara. متطهر من الحدث. He has tahara. He has made wuzu and ghusl. Everything is okay. ولكن شك بعد فترة في صدور حدث منه ناقض طهارته. Please be careful about how I read. شك بعد فترة في صدور حدث منه ناقض means حدث ناقض. ناقض is adjective for حدث. After a period of time, he doubts whether an action that invalidates wuzu has occurred, like sleeping. Occurrence, yes, or action or incident. ويختلف عن الأصول السابقة. أصول الثلاثة السابقة. The difference between istishab and the last 3, براءة, احتياط, تخير, is what? باختلاف المجرى. Where this is applied is different from where they are applied. For those 3, what was common was that previous condition was not known. As you remember, I was analyzing for you. When you have doubt, either you know the previous condition or you don't know. If you know, it's istishab. If you don't know, either you know taklif or you don't know taklif. You don't know bara. If you know, either you can do ihtiyat or you cannot do ihtiyat. This was the way we classify. So, the difference between istishab and the other 3 is that in istishab we know the previous condition. In those 3 we don't know the previous condition. إن مجرى الأصول الثلاثة. The place in which we apply those 3 احتياط براءة تخير is الشك في الشيء. You have doubt about something without knowing previous condition. من دون الحالة السابقة. There is no previous condition. You don't have any knowledge about what was the case before. إما لعدمها, either there was no حالة سابقة, or لعدم لحاظها واعتبارها, or even if you know, it's not useful. Because inshallah, in more detailed discussion, we would say that it's not that always knowing the previous condition is helpful. Sometimes shak is in muqtazi. You remember in previous book? For example, just as a practical example, if you know someone was living last year. And now you want to visit him. You go to the same address. Although you have doubt, but you suppose that he's in the same address. Yes? Because this person was fit, was okay, and it's now only 1 year. But suppose there was a very, very old person, already 200 years old. And now you, after 10 years, you want to go and see him. Here you don't do istishab because you don't know whether there is muqtazi for his life or not. You understand? So sometimes either we don't know the previous condition, or even if we know, we cannot use it. We cannot base our ruling on that previous condition. Because istishab has some conditions to meet. So من دون الحالة السابقة لهذا الحالة السابقة إما لعدمها, in those three براءة احتياط تخير, either there is no حالة السابقة, there is no previous condition, or there is but عدم لحاظها واعتبارها, but we don't consider it, we ignore it. بخلاف الاستصحاب, استصحاب is applied when there is حالة السابقة and that حالة السابقة is to be considered. مجراه means مجرى الاستصحاب كون الحالة السابقة ملحوظة is when the previous condition is considered, is important, it's taken into account. Okay, how many things we need in istishab? 5 things. إن الاستصحاب يتقوم بأمور. Istishab needs few things to be formed. Qivam of istishab is with 5 things. First, اليقين بالحالة السابقة والشك في بقائها. You are sure about the previous condition and you have doubt about its continuity. But Ayatollah Subhani says when we say you have doubt, this doubt doesn't mean 50%. Means lack of certainty. So if you have also suspicion or dhan, which is not valid, it's the same. For example, say 60% I slept. It's like 50%. It has no power to break your yaqeen. Okay? So you have yaqeen with respect to the previous condition. Now you have doubt about the continuity. Point 2. Ijtima'ul. Yes.
Is this opinion, Subhani's that the 50%, 60%, or 30% is all the same as?
Yes.
No. Is this only his or to other people?
No, everyone.
Everyone's.
Because the dhann mu'tabar also is normally like shak in most of the cases, unless there is extra reason. For example, Imam Khomeini in his Tahrir al-Wasila says about the number of raka'at, dhann is like yaqeen. Number of raka'at.
Is that because of evidence that he has? Or?
Yes. Yes.
Can we say the ruling is different for kathir or shak, someone who excessively doubts? These 5, that's an exceptional case.
Yeah. If there is kathir or shak, then we don't consider the doubt genuine. So it means like you have certainty. 2. اجتماع اليقين والشك في زمان واحد عند المستصحب. Mustasib is the person who does istishab. He has to have both yaqeen and shak at the same time. Okay? The only thing is that yaqeen and shak belong to 2 different things. Otherwise, right now, he has both yaqeen and shak, yeah? He knows now that at 10 o'clock he had wuzu. And he has doubt now about wuzu this time. But yaqeen and shak, both of them are still there. Is it clear?
Yes.
فعلية اليقين بالنسبة إلى الحالة السابقة في ظرف الشك. Now he is in the condition of doubt. It's like a container, but even in this condition of doubt, he has yaqeen about the previous condition. Yes.
With istishab, is it meant to continuity, as in the issue is continuing?
Yeah.
Or can we use istishab as well with things, for example, did I pray or did I not pray? I'm not sure. Because that's not, that's more to do with has that been fulfilled or not. Rather than
So, if you know that you had not prayed before and you have doubt, then here you have ishtighal. It's like a type of istishab, that there was a taklif and you don't know whether you have carried out your responsibility or not. You have to assume that you didn't. Yeah? Al-ishtighal al-yaqini yaqtadil faraq al-yaqin.
It's more to do with continuity, not if something's been fulfilled or not.
You can say it because the basis of such istishab and ishtighal is the same. Aql says that if you know that you had to pray and you didn't know whether you have done it or not, you assume that you didn't. Ahsan. 3. تعدد زمان المتيقن والمشكوك. Please be careful. زمان اليقين و زمان الشك are the same. The time of doubt and the time of certainty are the same as now. Now you should have both of them. But what is known certainly and what is doubted are two different times. So zamanul yaqin wa shak the same, but zamanul mutayaqqan wal mashkuk are not the same. Is it clear? تعدد زمان المتيقن والمشكوك. Al-mutayaqqan is the previous condition. Al-mashkuk is the current situation.
So ta'addud means the numbers, isn't it?
Ta'addud means difference here, multiplicity.
Difference of
The time of what is known is 10 o'clock, for example. The time of what is doubted is 12 o'clock. They are different.
You say according to Al-Mujaz Shomali that the doubt can be anything up to 100%, anything less than
100% or 99%, because we have also itminan. Al-itminan al-mutara'akhim lil-yaqeen. Sometimes even 99% is considered like 100% by Orf don't pay attention. You cannot fix it, but it seems sometimes the probability is so little that the Orf ignores. Number 4, سبق زمان المتيقن على زمان المشكوك. Not only their time is different, yaqeen, okay, should be about previous condition. So mutayaqqan is previous one and mashkuk is the current one. Okay, so the time of mutayaqqan is past. The time of mutayaqqan, not the time of yaqeen. The time of mutayaqqan, what is known is tahara at 10 o'clock. What is doubted is tahara at 12 o'clock. So which one is first? Tahara is first. Number 5, وحدة متعلق اليقين والشك. It should be about the same thing, like tahara. You cannot say, at 10 o'clock I had wuzu. Definitely. At 12 I have doubt whether, for example, my hand has become najis or not. These two have no relation with each other. It should be the same thing. Tahara, the only thing is that tahara at 10 is known and tahara at 12 is doubted. Yes.
شفنا in the beginning you said إن الاستصحاب يتقوم بأمور منها. So some of these conditions are these 5. So there's more conditions.
Yes. Like for example, shakif al-muqtazi. So maybe we say we don't accept. Muqtazi has to be there. But these 5 are very obvious ones. Okay, let us give you a few examples. I'm sure you like examples. Yes? So we give you 3. Istishabul kurriyah. You have water, and you know that this water was kur. But now you have doubt whether it is kur or not. And najasa has reached and touched this water. If it is still kur, najasa cannot make it mutanajjis. If it is not kur, najasa can make it mutanajjis. So what should we do? If we accept istishab here, we say we assume that it is still kur, therefore it's not najas. Istishabul kurriyah إذا كان الماء مسبوقا بها. Water is known to be kur before. وشك في بقائها, and there is doubt whether kurriya has continued or not. فيترتب عليها عدم نجاسة الماء بملاقات النجس. Because we assume that kurriya is continuing, then it is not making water najas if najas has reached it or touched it. If you were not able to do istishab, then this could have become najas. Is it clear? So, if you know that it is core, no problem. If you know that it is not core, it's najas. But now that you have doubt, if you know that it used to be core, it helps you. Yeah? But if you didn't know that it was core, and you have doubt whether it's core, then it's najas. Another example.
But in this case, sorry.
Yes.
In the case of the water, if you suspect that this is core or not, you can measure it. And you wouldn't assume najasa immediately. Because you can still have a way of identifying whether it's core or not, right?
Maybe now you cannot measure it because after touching, someone has taken from this water, and we know now that it's not, core. We not want to, when it was touched, was core or not.
So if nobody has touched it, it remains as core. You can accept it as.
If it is core and it is touched by najas and a smell and color, fragrance are not changed, so it's not najas. 2. Istishabu adam al-kurriyah. Suppose the previous condition was adamul kurriyah. We know that it was not core. إذا كان الماء مسبوقا به means بعدم الكرية. This water in the morning was not core. وشك في بقائها. And then at a later time, najas reached it, touched it, and we say, was it still not core or it had become core? You have to assume that it's not core. Yeah, because the previous condition was adamul kurriyah. Jim. استصحاب حياة زيد إذا شك في بقائها. Someone was alive, now has disappeared. We don't know whether he's alive or not. Should we assume that he is alive, or we can assume he's dead? For example, his wife wants to know whether he should give this money to the children or she can marry, this type of things. Okay? So, should we assume he's alive or not? Istishab says you should assume that he's alive. Okay? Or for example, you want to go to class, you don't know whether today class is cancelled or not. You assume that the class is continuing. Yes? استصحاب حياة زيد, we assume continuity of the life of Zayd. إذا شك في بقائها, if there is doubt about continuity of his life, فيترتب عليه, because we do istishab and we assume practically. You cannot say by God, I swear by God that he's alive. But as a practical assumption, we assume he's alive, and therefore what would be, implied, what this brings with itself is حرمة قسمة أمواله. They cannot divide and distribute his money and properties to the warath, to the inheritors. وبقاء ألقة الزوجية بينه وبين زوجته, and the marriage relation between him and his wife remains. Okay? Of course, in fiqh, we have discussion about when this continues for a long time, and is it then possible to determine or not? That's another issue. But suppose this person has just disappeared for a short period of time. Last point, الرابع. For today, this is the last thing. الفرق بين الاستصحاب وقاعدة اليقين. What is the difference between istishab and قاعدة اليقين, the rule of certainty? قاعدة اليقين looks similar to istishab, but they are different. هناك قاعدة أخرى تسمى في مصطلح الأصوليين بقاعدة اليقين. There is another rule that in the terminology of usuliyun, ulama al-usul, usul al-fiqh, it is called qa'idatul yaqin. What is that? For example, إذا تيقن بعدالة زيد يوم الجمعة. We know that on Friday Zayd was adil. On Friday Zayd was adil. Then you ask, for example, this adil to lead the prayer, okay, or to be witness. On Saturday you doubt his adala, but not his adala on Saturday. On Saturday you doubt his adala on Friday. It means that your yaqeen has gone. It's different from istishab. In istishab, still today, you are certain about the previous condition. But here, you had yaqeen, and now that yaqeen has gone. You understand? So, تيقن, there is certainty. بعدالة زيد يوم الجمعة. You can say also تيقن, but then you have to assume تيقن مكلف, for example. ثم طرأ عليه الشك, then doubt has occurred. يوم السبت, on Saturday, but about what? في عدالة زيد في نفس يوم الجمعة. Not about Saturday, about the same Friday. So this is different from istishab in two ways. One, عدم فعلية اليقين. In قاعدة اليقين, we don't have right now yaqeen, because yaqeen is damaged by doubt, is removed by doubt. Secondly, another difference is in istishab we had two things. Al-Mutayaqqan was Tahara, for example, at 10 o'clock, and Al-Mashkuk was Tahara at 12 o'clock. Or you can say Adala on Friday, Adala on Saturday. But here, both of them is about the same thing. Adala on Friday. Okay? Al-Mutayaqqan wal-Mashkuk is the same. وحدة متعلقي اليقين والشك جوهرا وزمانا. Not only it's about Adala, it's about Adala of Friday. So Adala is the Jawhar, is the substance, the topic, and Zaman is Friday. In Istishab, essence is the same, but 2 times. Is it clear? So, if, please be careful. For example, if I know that he was Adil on Friday, I know that, even now, I know he was Adil on Friday, and then I have doubt whether on Saturday he was also Adil or not. I assume he's Adil. But if I knew that he was Adil, then I doubted that he was Adil or not. Then this is not helpful. Okay? We cannot do istishab. Yes?
I think we have a hadith from Imam Sadiq that to ignore the doubts that for which the time has passed. Does this only apply to acts of worship in terms of this parts of it?
So we will see. We have hadith like La tanqud al-yaqina bil-shak, and these are for istishab, but not for qa'id yaqin. If your doubt is going to affect the previous condition, you cannot use this hadith. But we have another qa'idah that any doubt after the passage of time, you may not consider it. That's another thing. That is not because of istishab.
Doesn't it contradict with this qa'idat al-yaqeen?
No. Qa'idatul yaqeen is not valid. We don't accept qa'idatul yaqeen. But the only thing is that if it is shak ba'd al-mahal or ba'd al-faragh an al-action, then we can ignore it. But that's a separate rule for some cases that you have done something and finished.
For example, if you had prayed Jummah behind this person, and then you doubted on Saturday if he was Adil on Friday, then you can ignore it.
Yeah. Okay, now inshallah we have to start with arguments for validity of istishab. Inshallah in the next session. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Tell me something more about guidance. Guidance.